My name's Stephen Kenny. I am the manager of the Architecture and Engineering programme here at Axis across EMEA, and I also support a number of different industry associations, ASIS, Tiny G, and various sort of standards and organisations like that as well. If we look at Axis as a whole, security, IT security specifically is in our DNA because we've come from an IT background. So what that essentially means is, as an organisation, we think of it more of a holistic approach. So rather than working in different silos, we're able to sort of break down the different areas. We focus on product features, we look at policies and processes, and we look at the full lifecycle management. And that goes right the way through from our research and development teams, right through product management, all the way out to the channel. And we take a full view of what our device will look like across the market to make sure that it's been designed safely, it's installed safely, commissioned safely, and it can be maintained safely as well moving forward. So when we look at the edge device, it is obviously, there's been a huge proliferation of devices across the whole globe, and there is no hiding from the fact that edge devices can be an easy target. And essentially what we look at within Axis is we look at multiple features that we build into the actual edge device itself. We take a zero trust security model approach to that, so we make sure that the firmware is up to date. We go out of box security, we go disable remote access, and we also look at how we can continually upgrade those features in the technology moving forward to make sure that any vulnerabilities are addressed, and we can essentially keep our customers and the channel as safe as possible. So the product portfolio continues to grow and grow each year. We're starting to see really intelligent applications built into devices. So obviously everyone has known Axis for inventing the first IP camera many years ago. But if we look at where we are today, we've got sophisticated analytics that are now built into cameras. We're starting to look at the radar applications. We've got new smart devices that will be connected to other areas. We've got audio, we've got access control. So actually it is a full portfolio of different technologies that are both aligned to the security market, but actually go way beyond that in terms of operational efficiencies, business intelligence, and how we actually capture data that we can provide back to an organization to essentially make them operate more efficiently. So I guess TCO is a fairly, I'm not going to say it's new to the industry. It's something that Axis has spoken about for several years now, but this has taken a full sort of cradle to grave approach in terms of how much is a system going to cost. So rather than look at the operational costs and the CapEx investment on day one, we can look at a full 7, 10 or even 15 year beyond. So this is essentially where we're able to work with our customers and identify what the upfront costs are, but then we can actually start to look at how we can make them operate more efficiently, how we can make sustainability savings, how we can reduce their energy consumption, how we can make them operate more efficiently as a business. And when we take a total cost of ownership approach, essentially what we are able to identify is many savings further down the line, whilst at the same time making that organization run more efficiently. So it's a win-win. We save more and we help businesses run more efficiently. So I think sustainability in 2025, it's seen a bit of a shift that we've seen across the market. So within organisations like Axis, we understand that there are both the technology considerations, but there are also the legal and compliance considerations across many regions around the world now. So essentially what we will do is we will look at the device by itself, and we will look at how we can optimize that and make the device run more efficiently whilst reducing the power consumption of that. At the same time, we'll also look at the features that we can build into a device. So if we think of the likes of Zipstream technology, AV1 compression, or light finder technology, these are actually features that will have both direct impact on the device cost savings, because it will reduce, if we don't need IR technology in the device, that's going to reduce the power requirements of the device. However, if we look beyond that, we can look at the wider solution or the wider surveillance requirements. So the likes of Zipstream and AV1 is going to require less bandwidth, less compression, which essentially means less servers, which means less storage, which means less power, which means less air conditioning. So all of these things have a huge impact in terms of the sustainability footprint, also improves the cost effectiveness and the power requirements of the system. And then we can also look at the logistics aspects of how do we ship technology around the world, how can we reduce our footprint there, and at the same time also looking internally as an organization, our business, how do we operate as a business. How can we follow things like BREEAM certification and sustainability best practice there as well. So I think Axis as an organisation, apart from the fact that we sit on and we support many different industry associations, we sit with lots of different standards organisations that will look at how we can drive best practice across the industry. There is that aspect that is really, really important to driving positive change across the industry. But as an organisation as well, we're the one that is probably the most open in terms of our interoperability with lots of different technologies. And we embrace lots of different partners across the ecosystem to make sure that we can make scalable, future-proof systems that are going to benefit businesses for the next 10 years, because what is designed today will operationally change over the life cycle of its implementation, and it is through solid ecosystems, solid partnerships, and an open philosophy to working with lots of different organizations.